I'm gonna give an explanation. I have been ranting a lot recently that Shamrocket should not exist in this game. Not because it's too strong, it's just because it makes the game dumb. I'm gonna give this explanation once and for all, and if anyone ever asks you what is the difference between Shamrocket and rocket science, please refer them to this video with this timestamp, because I'm gonna explain this one more time. I'm never gonna explain this ever again. Listen up, guys. The reason Shamrocket is first of all, in itself, without comparing it to anything else, is a dumb card. This ruins a lot of zombie strategies. It makes a lot of zombie cards, very fun zombie strats, completely unplayable. Any zombie card that it costs 5 or more and only just has big stats. We're talking about Supernova Guard, we're talking about Smashing Guard, King of the Grill, Wannabe Hero, Zombot, Octo Zombie. All of these cards are completely unplayable on the highest level of the game, practically, because of this card, Shamrocket. The fact that you're going to be playing a zombie dry and it gets removed, answered completely by a card that costs 2, 3, or 4, 5 less than it. It just makes this card it shouldn't exist. Now that zombie players are not running cards like King of the Grill or Nurse or Zombot or any of these Gargantuars, Shamrocket is not OP because, again, this does need now the correct target. People are going to be running anything that has 4 or more attack. You're sort of going to be making sure you're only investing 3 or 4 brains into it in the first place. So it does not get removed by Shamrocket. You just auto-include a few of these in every deck. This also makes a really dumb, this also ruins a lot of other zombie strats as well. For example, taking one minion, sticking in the amphibious lane, and using a vitamin Z. Let's say you use it to add 3/3. The card is just answered by Shamrocket. It removes both the base minion and the trick that you've used to build up that one guy. Unless that one guy happens to have Untrickable, this will always just be a complete removal for it. So it ruins the buff a single zombie strat. It ruins all the late game zombie cards, basically, unless they have some ability like Plankwalker that at least makes a couple other minions. This card should not exist. The only way for me to fix this card would make it cost at least 5, maybe 6. Maybe if this was like a 5 cost card, it would be fine, because that would just make the zombies able to actually play expensive cards. And even if you play a 6 cost card that get answered by a 5, at least then the plant player is not able to spend all that extra sun that they've gained on that exchange on more minions to take over the field and gain more tempo. At least there should be a similar cost. Now here's a question people always ask me: Fry, how come why are you so mad at Shamrocket? How is this any different than rocket science, which it looks like the exact same thing? It's a 3 cost trick that has literally the exact same ability. I'm going to pull it up for you for those who don't know what rocket science does. It removes a plant with 4 or more attack. And the answer is very, very simple. I'm going to explain this for you guys very simply. It's because the order of this game is zombies play their minions, plants play everything, and then zombies play their tricks. In order to get a good rocket science, that you're going to be controlling whatever plant the plant player plays that turn, you have to make an investment as a zombie player of passing those 3 brains. You have to leave it over, and you don't know if you're going to get. Now, if you use the rocket science on something that they've played a turn before, that's not the best use of it. In a control deck, you want to be able to answer what they play this turn, not the turn before, because if you answer only the card they played the turn before, they're going to play even a stronger card this turn, which then goes unanswered and hits your face, and they're going to be slowly gaining tempo on you. As a plant player with Shamrocket, you do not have to invest anything into this. You have not spent any. You just have to see the zombie card, which was played sort of dry on the field, and just throw a Shamrocket at it. And if they didn't make that play, unless they start teleporting in minions, which makes them lose value because they have to have the teleport and spend a brain on the teleport, which makes them play less valuable cards per turn. Unless they do that, Shamrocket just completely annihilates whatever they have played. You can use buffing cards on the plant side for the exact same reason. If you use Growshroom, the fact that turn 3, the zombie just passed turn 3 and decided that maybe I'll have this rocket science, maybe they'll play Growshroom, like that's a very, very big investment on the zombies. It just has to do with the order of the turns. So I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually going to create an entirely new row for this, because this is delete, please. This is not, this card should not be in the game. Again, and also what I mentioned before, guys, since you guys are all going to be asking me, why would this cost 5? It would be completely outclassed by Squash, which is also a 5-cost card, which removes a zombie. I really think that Squash is a little bit stupid too, because again, it just removes everything that they play on turn 5. In my opinion, Shamrocket should cost 5. I think I passed Squash here. Squash should cost 6. I think this would be a balance. Again, it's not because Squash is overpowered. It's not. It's actually not a very useful card in the game. First of all, because it's outclassed by Shamrocket. It's not because it's overpowered. It just makes fun zombie decks be completely unplayable on the highest level of the game. This should cost 6, and maybe Doomshroom should cost 7. I feel like we're just going to stick Doomshroom. I think Doomshroom as a 7-cost card would be fine. Because then you would need, the reason Doomshroom, I'll tell you the predicament with Doomshroom, and I wasn't going to do Doomshroom until the 5-cost cards, but I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain this now, since we're sort of talking about the same subject. This is a super overpowered card. I mean, this will remove all plants and zombies so that have more than 4 attack, which means if the zombies, again, the best thing you can do in this game is just have a bunch of really strong guys that are really difficult to answer in the field. You have one card that just Thanos snaps them all off the face of the planet. This definitely should be called Thanos Shroom, in my opinion. The reason why you don't see me running Doomshrooms in a lot of decks is because good zombie players don't run a lot of big zombies that are answered easily by Doomshroom. If Shamrocket, and the main reason because of Shamrocket, if Shamrocket didn't exist, or at least cost 5, Doomshroom would then become a much more viable card to be running in a lot of decks, because you'd end up having a lot of zombies playing decks that are weak to Doomshroom and weak to Shamrocket. So, in my opinion, I would actually make Shamrocket cost 5, Squash would cost 6, and Doomshroom would cost 7. That would make Doomshroom actually a viable card to run in a deck, because the zombies are going to be more confident running those cards into it. So I'm going to be putting this in the please delete tier as well. It's just a flawed card. These are just cards. Again, they're not overpowered. They just make the game less fun.